Hello, Beez Bladers. Welcome back and welcome newcomers to the channel. It's Friday, November 4th, 2022, and we are live at the Hive. All right. It is part of the 24-hour Knife Rights live stream, baby, and we are all in the Hive. That's what I'm talking about. I hope y'all had a great week, and as you can tell, my voice is coming back. Sounds a lot better than it did before. Absolutely. Hope y'all had fun at Tri-State. I was having technical difficulties, so I only got to see about 2 minutes of it. Hope you're all having a lot of fun over there. I hope he gave away something. I saw somebody won something. I don't know what. Shout out to all the channel members and subscribers. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Absolutely fantastic. Hey, yo, what's up, Z-Man and Iggy? Top dogs in the house. The Hive is live. Paper Tiger, D. Edelman, Terry T-Rex, and Mrs. Beez.
Hello.
Mrs. Beez is in the Hive.
Terry T-Rex says your voice sounds a bit better.
Yeah, it's still a little low. Yeah, I had a couple people that that commented on the video. They were like, I like it much better this way. Because I can't talk as loud, I can't talk as fast, and I can't laugh. You kidding me? And Mrs. Beez hopefully will join me, and we should have a special guest if they can figure out how to get on here. Prado said, "What a ride! 1 year, Prado." Hey, Robert Feely. Hello, and we're gonna have our special guest here in just a minute after we say hello to everyone. Did I miss one?
No. Oh, never mind.
Already got it, Javon.
Figured it out.
Figured it out. We got it figured out. Yeah. Yeah. The last minute, I've been sitting here ready for an hour, getting everything, and then all of a sudden, audio is like not cooperating. I'm like, are you kidding me? All right, testing. I can take these things off. Very nice. Very, very nice. And hopefully, I'll have audio, and I'll be able to hear our guest. At the top of the screen, you'll see a link. You'll want to go to kniferights.org and make a donation. You're going to hear all about that from our special guest tonight. We're going to have 2 awesome giveaways at the end. And it's going to be a short Hive stream tonight. And a bunch of people, everyone is trying to it's funny. As soon as I start a live stream, everyone Instagrams, calls, everything else. It always is funny how it works that way. Let me make sure I don't forget anything. So, we have our special guest is the knife designer extraordinaire and founder of kniferights.org, Doug Ritter. Everyone, welcome Doug Ritter.
Hey there.
Hey, Doug. Doug is in the Hive. Can you hear all the applause?
I can. Sort of.
Welcome, Doug.
If I get my other ear in, it'll work better.
Here's the applause.
We're signing you up for sound effects next time.
Oh, I definitely do. I definitely do sound effects. I have to watch myself. I'll do it too much during videos and everything else. How are you doing, sir?
We're doing great. Especially after yesterday. The governor of Pennsylvania signing our bill to repeal their switchblade ban. I mean, that was huge. That's our 40th bill signed in 26 states in 13 years. That's pretty cool.
Amazing. That is amazing. If you will, there's a lot of last year we did this live, and since last year, a ton of people have joined the knife community that don't know about knife rights. Now we've brought it up throughout the year. Matter of fact, I have my bumper sticker up on the wall. But if you wouldn't mind telling us how you got knife rights started, what got you going with that, and how it operates.
Sure. So it all started back in 2006 when the Wall Street Journal ran just a terrible article. Basically telling people that these evil tactical knives were dangerous and sort of putting it in the same framework as the assault weapons, anti-assault weapons articles, and I got pissed. This was stupid. And I've been to Europe and I'd seen what was happening in England, and apparently, if you piss me off, I go start an organization to fix things. so, so, so we started Knife Rights. It took a few years to get our bearings. Then we worked with some other organizations when the Obama administration's U.S. Customs tried to expand the definition of what a switchblade is to include assisted opening knives. And that would have been a bad thing. And so we were able to get the 5th exemption to the Federal Switchblade Act added, so that assisted openers and one-hand openers, anything else they wanted to consider a switchblade because it opened quickly, could not be included in the federal definition of a switchblade.
So they were going to try to get like flippers included in that?
Yep. I mean, everyone thought it was just assisted openings, but if you actually read the proposed rulings, it would have affected any knife that you could open quickly, like thumb opening, flip opening, whatever. So the good news is we got that fixed. And one of the things that did was it gave us credibility, and that was in 2009. In 2010, we started in on our state advocacy. And had some really good success that first year. We repealed New Hampshire's ban on Dirk's daggers and switchblades. And we passed the nation's first preemption law, knife law preemption law, in Arizona, which is my home state.
Will you explain what preemption law is?
I will. Happy to.
I'm so glad to have you on, because I wouldn't have remembered half of this, and I wouldn't have looked half of it up.
That's okay. So what knife law preemption does when we get it passed is it says state law preempts local laws. So it gets rid of any local restrictions that are more restrictive than state law. So it's all well and good to fix the laws, the knife laws, get rid of them, repeal bans at the state level. But if there's no preemption, local cities and towns can still have restrictions. So you cross a line on the map, and suddenly you go from I'm not a criminal to I'm a criminal. And that's just crazy. But that's what it is. So when we pass knife law preemption at the state level, that gets rid of the local laws and doesn't allow them to do it again. So if you know the law in your state, you're covered. And when we get rid of all the laws, then there are no laws against knives. That's what it's all about. That's what Knife Rights is all about. We are a nonpartisan advocacy organization working to get rid of knife bans of all sorts. We don't believe there should be any bans on knives at all, any more than any other tool that you would carry. And a knife is only a weapon if it's actually used as a weapon. In fact, we got that terminology put into Ohio's knife laws last year. So we go around the country. A lot of the work we do, most of the work we do is legislative, and that's Knife Rights Foundation. That's showing up at the State House, finding sponsors, getting bills passed, coming back again and again. We just did Pennsylvania. That was 10 years of effort in Pennsylvania trying to get bills passed. We did Virginia this year. That was like 6 years of effort, 2 bills vetoed, and we finally got it passed. So persistence plays a big part of it. When we started suing New York City, it took 9.5 years. Our case on appeal to the Supreme Court up for conference before Governor Cuomo finally signed our bill after 2 previous vetoes.
So is that how it works? You have to sue?
Sometimes. We prefer not. We prefer doing it legislatively. As expensive as that is, it isn't as expensive as going to court. So most of our work is legislative, but there have been occasions where we've gotten involved in suing states, cities, coming in as amici in various and sundry lawsuits where someone has been criminally charged with carrying a knife that's perfectly legal. So we do that. We do the advocacy thing. We have our Legal Blade 2.0 app so that people can go online and look at their phone and see what the law is wherever they're
Oh,
going.
hold up. So there's an app now?
Yeah. Has been for quite a while.
Well,
actually.
hey, I'm a novice. I never claimed to say, oh yeah, I knew that. So what is the app?
Legal Blade.
You gotta be kidding me.
I would never kid you ever.
Oh my goodness. Everybody, did you hear that? If you don't know, which I didn't, Legal Blade is an app. You can find out, I'm guessing, what the laws are in your state.
What the
right?
laws are in all 50 states and the District of Columbia, 40 major cities, and we include links so that you can find the local city codes wherever you live or where you're traveling to.
Wow. That is awesome. I did not know. I knew I could go to the site and then like I went to, I had a wonderful vacation 2 weeks ago. I went to Hawaii and I was like, so I Googled it. I wanted to make sure, and that I wish I would have had that app.
Now you know.
Now I know. And I
And it's
appreciate
free. It's free.
yeah. I appreciate the work that you do. Ohio, I live in Ohio, and I'm very glad that I live in Ohio. That I don't have to worry about what type of knife or what kind of knife or how big it is or any of that. Everywhere should be that way.
Well, we're working at it. You know, 40 bills later, we've made a pretty good start. And, you know, we're already working on plans for next year. We've got a lot to do, depending upon what happens in the election. We may even have more to do. But I think it's important to recognize that we are nonpartisan in nature. The vast majority of our bills, even though we're a Second Amendment organization, in case anyone doesn't get it, the Second Amendment doesn't say anything about firearms. Second Amendment says arms.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
true.
knives are arms. And certainly were back when that was written. So despite the fact that we're a Second Amendment organization, we get support from both sides of the aisle. The vast majority of our bills passed with bipartisan support. We have had Democratic governors, including Governor Wolf just this week, sign our bills, because ultimately what we do is criminal justice reform. You shouldn't be arrested for simply carrying a knife, regardless of how it opens, how long it is, what it looks like. None of that should have any bearing. If you're not going to use it illegally, if you're not going to use it to commit a crime, why should you be subject to arrest? And that argument seems to work on both sides of the aisle. And that's one reason we've been so successful.
Well, since I'm more familiar with Ohio, and I've read Ohio, because that's what I do here. Is that how Ohio is pretty much what you shoot for, or because pretty much the wording is like you said, it's not a weapon unless you use it as one. Is that what you're working for, or even less?
So Ohio was the first state where we actually had that written into the statute, which is obviously the ultimate goal. If you're just carrying a knife, it's not a weapon unless you use it as a weapon to commit a crime.
Right.
So our goal is to get rid of any bans on possession and carry of knives, open or concealed, anywhere that you can normally carry a knife. It's really not difficult to comprehend. It's just difficult as heck and expensive to actually accomplish.
Well, a screwdriver is not a weapon unless you use it as one.
Exactly. And why should a knife be treated any different? It's not like you get arrested because your screwdriver is over 6 inches long or over 3 inches long. Nobody's going to get arrested because of that, or because you're walking down the street with a hammer. So all we want is knives to be treated like any other tool. In other words, no laws against it, because it's just a tool,
Right,
except
right.
when it's a weapon.
pretty much anything can be used as a weapon. You don't make laws about every single thing there's out there. So
No, but apparently people thought it was a good idea and still do. I mean, we've defeated 10 attempts to make knives more illegal in 6 different states. Most recently, we're working on getting them preventing them from passing a law in New Jersey that pretty much would have made it illegal to walk almost anywhere with a knife in your pocket.
jeez. Now is New York, is that pretty much a big uphill battle? Because I get a lot of complaints about New York.
It certainly was. I mean, in New York City, over the course of a decade, they prosecuted over 70,000 people for carrying what they claim was a gravity knife, but was simply a common one-hand opening knife that locks open. 70,000 people, some of which who had previous misdemeanor convictions ended up going up the river for years because they were committing a felony at that point. It was terrible. And it was 9.5 years and nearly $1 million. But all people wanted to do was carry a knife. I mean, New York already has a under 4-inch blade limit. It's the only place that you are required to carry a knife completely concealed. You can't clip it to your pocket. It has to be in your pocket, not printing. Nobody can tell you're supposed to have it. But they crossed the line when they started arresting people for simply carrying a one-hand opening knife. And that's what we did. New York is not the worst state in the nation. Gravity knives are now legal. Real gravity knives, as well as one-hand opening knives, are now legal in New York. Balisongs have been legal for years and years due to a court opinion. We still need to fix switchblades and the carry of things like daggers, but we'll get there. It's just a matter of perseverance. It's a matter of just coming back and knocking on the door and saying, we're back again. We really want to get this done. And that's what we do.
Hold that thought. Jeremiah Moses with the 50 doll hairs. Oh my goodness. And if you want to donate, I totally accept it, but make sure you go to kniferights.org and make a big donation there. And it's my understanding that every $10 gives you an entry into the grand prizes. I mean, each one of the grand prizes, and I think there's 6 or 7 now.
5.
There's 5. Well,
3 of which have one of my knives in it.
Say that again.
3 of which have one of my RSK folders as part of it.
How about that? Thank you.
Wow, that's scary.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Bright colors.
Hey, well, when they donate $10 more, they get the Amera hair. It turned into a thing. So, let's see. Robert Feely said, "Did he just say you can't use a pocket clip in New York State?" Thank you, Jeremiah. New York City.
Yes, New York City. It sucks, but there's no sense getting arrested for it and losing your knife, which, by the way, they have no right to confiscate, but they do anyway.
Well, I have a lot of people tell me, I'll do a video on a knife and they'll say, I can't order it. Amazon won't deliver. It's not even, it won't even show if you live in like New York City.
So one of the problems with Amazon is they're so huge, they just don't care. There's nothing I can do. I get emails regularly. Can't you fix Amazon? They sell millions of dollars worth of knives every year. And if they quit selling knives tomorrow, they wouldn't even notice it on their bottom line. They are that big. They don't care. And we have no ability to influence them. So unfortunately, there's not much we can do about that. Now, hopefully as we get more and more knife restrictions repealed, they will be more willing to sell to states that they don't now, because now there are no laws against it. So we got a ways to go for New York City.
So we have a question. Where do we submit our donation receipt for the giveaway? So if you go over to kniferights.org and make a donation, every $10 you donate, it definitely become a member. I know I'm a member. every $10 is going to get you in on a like the huge. There's probably going to end up being an extra prize pack because I've got a couple that are going to Lefty too. He's going to have so many more trickling in. Last I heard, each one of the grand prizes is over $1,000 worth of stuff.
So the email you send your receipt to is kniveslive2021@gmail.com. Because
Knives Live
apparently left over from last year.
Yeah.
But kniveslive2021@gmail.com.
There we go.
I think. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that is. I'm pretty sure that's what I had written down. Was auto? Let's see. Ian Coates said were autos becoming legal in Michigan thanks to knife rights?
Yes, we did that.
It was done.
Yeah, this year we actually passed knife law preemption in Michigan, but the governor vetoed it. So hopefully we get a new governor there who's more interested in signing our bill, and we're going to be back. I mean, eventually we will get preemption passed in Michigan, as well as perhaps reform some of their other rather vague knife laws.
Have you
which is what we did in Ohio.
Have you found, has it surprised you that you have received more support than have you received more support than you thought you would? Like from both sides? You were talking about it being bipartisan. Have you been surprised by the support for what you're doing? Or is there not as much as you'd hope for?
When we started out, we had an idea that this could be a bipartisan issue. But we were pleasantly surprised to discover not only was it a bipartisan issue, but we have sponsors of our bills from the other side of the aisle. People who would never vote for a pro-gun bill and happily vote for an anti-gun bill. Also happily sponsor our bills. So that's been great. I mean, I don't think we quite expected that level of support, but it's criminal justice reform, and both sides of the aisle can get on board with that.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising to me. I thought that you would get more opposition, but kind of the way you were talking is that that a lot more folks were supportive, or were totally cool with it. I figured that all kinds of people would come out of the woodwork. Oh no, knives are bad. You can flip that open. It's a weapon.
Oh, you mean like that?
Like that. And what is that?
That's one of my mini RSK Mark I G2s. So just a word about my knives. The only way I can afford to spend 95% of my time on knife rights is because of my knives. Sales of those knives keep a roof over my head. I don't have to spend very much time at it, which is cool because I spend about 95% of my time, 12 to 16 hours a day, working on knife rights.
You hear that, people?
Mostly raising money, because that's one of the biggest challenges, other than actually getting the job done in the legislature or in the courts. Raising the money to accomplish that is my biggest time. That's where I spend all my time. And my knives allow me to do that. And, turns out people like them. So that's really good. I'd hate to be shilling my knives and they're crap just because it's me, but people seem to love the knives, and I that's super.
Well, here's a question from Doomsday. He said, how do we work on getting the North Carolina restrictions off the books?
So let me tell you generically how things get done. So first of all, it takes a legislative sponsor, whether it's in the House or Assembly side or the Senate side. We have to find someone in the legislature who's interested in fixing the law. And then we can work with them to get a bill written, to get it filed, to start working at getting it passed. So what it takes in North Carolina is finding the right sponsor. We've had conversations with members of the legislature in North Carolina. I think we even got 1 or 2 bills filed that didn't go anywhere, which is not unusual. Sometimes it takes years for a bill to take off. And at the end of this month, we will be meeting at the National Assembly of Sportsmen's Caucuses with leaders of the Sportsmen's Caucuses from like 46 states. And we'll have an opportunity to pick up sponsors for bills, and perhaps it's North Carolina or some other state that needs help. We get about a third of our sponsors that way. About a third of our sponsors are the result of someone calling us up and saying, hey, I read about you guys. I want to fix the knife laws in my state. And about a third are what I call organic. So somebody sees what we've accomplished in other states and decides to file a bill to fix their state. We find out about it. We're able to jump on it and give them the support that's needed to get a bill passed, because it isn't just a question of you file a bill, it gets through the legislature lickety split. You have to work the legislature. We have a full-time lobbyist, Todd Rathner, and I go to the legislature. We meet with legislators. We talk to them. We talk to their staff. We get them on board. We explain why these laws make absolutely no rational sense. I mean, none of these knife laws make any rational sense. And, it's a process. You go to hearings, you testify, a lot of travel involved. Both myself and my lobbyists do over 100,000 miles a year at the airlines, which really sucks. But, it's both expensive and a pain, literally. But that's how we get things done. We get things done by showing up. There are times when we need our supporters' emails to a chairman of a committee or to members of a legislature in order to get us over the hump. But ultimately, we get things done because we show up at the State House and we work with the legislators there to get things done.
And all of that sounds so complicated.
Yeah, it's not easy. I had no background in this when I got pissed off at the Wall Street Journal article. None. Wow. It was a very, very steep learning curve. But apparently I have a talent for it, even if I didn't realize it.
Well, it worked out. A few comments. Mike Curtis said, I joined the 3rd level of knife rights today. Do I need to turn my receipt in?
Yes. If you want credit to win the grand prizes, yes, you have to turn your receipt in.
And Me With Knives said, I'm toting a mini RSK for this weekend. And Rusty Knife Lover said, I really hope to get a Magna Cut RSK.
I bet you do.
There was someone else I'm trying to find it. Oh, K Mason said he's still carrying his Halloween Hogue Ritter RSK MK1 G2.
But Halloween's over.
Well, I mean, maybe he's.
I mean, you need a few. But Halloween's done. You need a different one for Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
And a different one for Christmas or Hanukkah. And
Exactly.
how about New Year's? I mean, half a dozen RSKs seems about the right number.
Yeah, half a dozen or more. I'm all, you have to change the colors and the scales and the steels.
Right. And we do that. We have lots of different colors and scales. I mean, here's a purple one, purple Damascus, and we got a nice fixed blade as well.
If you will, since I have this opportunity and I have you on, will you please show us what you have there? And there are a lot of folks in here that may have never heard of you or your knives. I want them to hear about you. This is a perfect opportunity. Please show us some of your knives.
So this is the full-size RSK Mark I G2. Like all my folders, it's made by Hogue. And this is the mini, also in purple. They're available in a variety of handle colors and materials. The blades are CPM 20 CV. It has the Able lock, which is an improved version of the Axis lock. ambidextrous bar lock enhance is what ABLOC stand for. Hogue is doing an incredible job on my knives. They're just killing it for me. This was a limited run we did in MagnaCut and carbon fiber. All of these knives are only available at knifeworks.com. They are my exclusive distributor of all of my Hogue knives. And then there's also, where is it? I thought I had everything here. Here it is. And there's also my little RSK Mark V.
There you go, Mr.
This was designed expressly to fit inside an Altoids tin, and it comes with its own little tin. It's easy to laugh at this knife, but we've cut down 3-inch saplings with it. It's a great little, last ditch knife. You can also carry it on your neck. This really, all of these knives come back to my survival background with Equipped to Survive, which was sort of the very first Consumer Reports sort of website about survival gear and stuff on the web. And I started with the knife stuff originally with Benchmade, now with Hogue, because whenever I would recommend a knife, there was a but at the end of the sentence. Get this knife, but it's too expensive. Get this knife, but the steel could be better. Get this knife, but there was always a but.
True.
So eventually I designed my own knife and I got no buts.
You got no buts.
I got no buts.
That's hard to do because every knife you're like, oh, I kind of wish, or well, if only.
So they're not fancy. They're not exotic. High quality steel, high quality materials, high quality build at a affordable price. And that was the goal. Put a knife in people's hands that will not let them down, that has the stuff that they want. When we first started this, my RSKs were built on a Griptilian frame. And I couldn't convince Benchmade to build them unless I would buy them. So I got with a partner. At that time, it was S30V, which was the highest end high-tech steel back in those days.
So that was top notch back then.
Yeah, and Les Diasis was absolutely convinced that you could not sell a high-end steel blade in a plastic handle. And so we not only did we sell them, but they sold very well. And we started a trend. I mean, today you can find plastic handled knives with high-end steel all over the place. But before I did that, everyone was convinced that, you couldn't do that. And then when we made the transition to Hogue, we moved to G10 when we refined the design, and we're still able to keep the knife affordable. So, and I can't say enough good things about the quality of the Hogue knives and what they're building for me. I mean, that is, if you look at the texturing on these knives, I mean, that is a ton of very precise machine work to get that.
That is a huge thing with me is texture. I do something on every video. I call it texture vision. And I do close-ups of texture. That texture is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. It took a while to come up with a texture that was both functional, because above all, these knives needed to be functional if they were going to have my name on them, and also aesthetically pleasing. And I think they're pretty aesthetically pleasing. I mean, I think they're beautiful.
And when I say gorgeous, I'm talking about how they feel. I can tell that it feels amazing. I wasn't actually even talking about the look. I go for texture, the blade, and then how it feels in my hand, and is it gonna be slippy? I'm not real big on slick knives. Sometimes I'm okay, you know, but when I think of a knife, the
Nope,
first
nobody is ever going to accuse my knives of being slippery.
well,
Ever.
the first place
I'm a
mine
practical
go.
person. I don't want people's knives to slip. You know what happens when your knife slips in your hands?
No,
Someone gets cut, usually
yeah,
you. That's not a good thing.
right. And that's the first thing I think of when I look at a knife is how you can use it, how it can be used by looking at the blade, and then how it is in the hand. Those, and then I look at how pretty it is. That, but it's always the blade first, and then the texture and the feel of it, how it's going to fit, and how I'm going to be able to hold it.
So
And
basically, we're on the same page.
yeah, it
You know?
sounds like it.
And when I design my knives, they're designed to be used. I mean, I appreciate that there are collectors who collect my knives, and that's great. But above all, these are knives to be used. They're not exotic, they're not fancy, with a few exceptions, limited runs, but they're using knives. They're EDC knives. And you can beat the crap out of them, and they're going to come back for more. And that's what we need in a knife that we carry every day.
So, what made you want to design your knife? What was it? Like, what made you right from the start? Like, okay,
So understand, I was writing about survival equipment. Okay. Next to your brain, your most important survival tool is a knife. And every time I would recommend a knife, there would be a but at the end. You know, get a Chris Reeves Benza, but they cost a fortune. You know, get this knife, but it
so
doesn't have a
that
lanyard
was
hole.
it. It was the whole butt thing for sure.
It's the butt things. Now I got no butts.
Okay, all right.
It is important to me to produce, with my partners, Hogue and Knife Works, a knife that's affordable, that'll do the job, and they'll get the job done. Because if I don't do that, no one's going to buy them. And if no one buys them, then I can't afford to continue to do knife rights. And, the bottom line is this is about, knife rights is about making sure that people can carry any of my knives anywhere they want to be. And whatever knives I have coming in the future that we're working on, I don't want people to be prevented from carrying them because of some stupid length law or design law or whatever. Knife rights is all about getting rid of restrictions on knives because, folks, they're tools. There should be no more restrictions on a knife, on carrying a knife, or anything else than there is on a screwdriver.
Hey, Doug, can you see the knife on the screen?
Yeah, that looks a lot like a Mark III, my fixed blade, with a really nice sheath.
That sheath is from Campfire Leatherworks. Iggy, she's in the chat right now. She's always in here, and she made that.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that cool? You have a
Yeah.
lot of fans. A lot of
I
fans.
appreciate that. So sheaths for fixed blades are one of those you can't win. Even you can't win with sheaths. It's sort of like pocket clips. No matter what you do, there's a large proportion of people who aren't going to like it. If you do a Kydex sheath, people are going to complain, oh, I wanted nylon. You do a nylon sheath like we do, I wanted Kydex. And then there are the people who want something really nice like leather. There's an apocryphal story that goes around back in the day that they had a big celebration. Paul Gerber celebrated the first time that they had a knife that the sheath cost less than the knife. Okay, so there are two things that you just will never, ever get everybody on board with: sheaths and pocket clips. That's one of the reasons when I designed my knives, I made sure that they had a standard 3-hole pattern. So, okay, you don't like my clip, go get whatever clip you want and it'll fit.
Two things. First of all, if you are in here and you're just watching this live stream, I am going to be doing a couple really nice giveaways here in a little bit, probably in about 10 minutes. And the only thing you have to do to be entered is say something in the chat. So if you're just chilling, just watching, and you have it up on your TV or something like that, log in on your phone and say hello or say something in the chat that's going on right now. Because everyone that has said anything in the chat, you're automatically being entered right now, just so you know. So we have 203 watching at the moment, and there's 154 entries. So there's a bunch of people that haven't said anything. Just letting you know
Speak
that's
up,
how you enter.
folks.
Yeah,
Speak
speak
up.
up. Now's your chance. Oh, now we have some hello, something. Hello, something. Listening and learning.
You knew people were going to come in and just say the word something.
And I'm not sure if you were in here. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Beez. And
Hello.
Hello.
Typically, hold on.
Oh, no.
When we're doing our live stream. Oh, and the second thing before I get squirrely. I jump around a lot because my mind goes everywhere. But Bearded Doom, thank you, brother. With the $20 hairs. He said, I was glad I was able to pop in. Mr. Ritter, you are a titan amongst men. Beez,
Oh, well,
good to
thank
see
you so
brother.
much. Us bearded guys got to, hang together,
And thank you, Bearded Doom. You get the Amera hair, brother. Merca.
Hi, everyone.
And when Mrs. B, she always comes down after I do the pocket check, because the pocket check usually takes about 40 minutes. And then she'll come down, and when she gets here, she has her own emoji. It's the queen bee, and all the channel members start putting that emoji. That if you see the chat, I don't know if you can see the chat, but it's blowing
Yes,
up.
I can.
And typically when she comes down, our cat Bentley comes with her, and Bentley has his own emoji. I'm not sure if he's going to come down because
he probably won't. It's too early for him.
It's too early and he's already had dinner. But
I understand the cat thing. We've got 4. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a celebrity. He has his own there. His emojis popping up. But we have so much fun, and let's see. We should all have the same compassion for Mr. Ritter. Mr. Ritter, your knives are awesome. I love that you focus on function and EDC with your knives.
Wow, this is just stroking my ego big time. My wife's gonna hate it. Get down off your high horse and take the garbage out, Doug.
You're not that special here.
Let's see. Look, I couldn't do knife rights. I mean, knife rights would not be here if it weren't for my wife, Sue. I mean, she's like, you're crazy, but let's go do this. And did I mention you're crazy?
And that is something awesome. So that's something is pretty much your wife, and an attorney.
Our lobbyist.
Okay. So that is the whole kit and caboodle. And besides that, Doug, in case you all don't know, Doug makes no money from kniferights.org. Just so you know, he does not profit from kniferights.org. He makes his money from selling his beautiful knives. And as he was saying earlier, if you're just now getting into the stream, that gives him the time and ability to fight for us so we could carry the knives that we should be able to carry in the first place.
Well said.
Very nice. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're not doing a pocket check tonight because that would take up another 45 minutes. And what we usually do is we'll imagine that we're in a huge gymnasium and there's a long line of folding tables. And we debated on what was on the table, and we finally decided on a micarta table. And as I did all the pocket checks, we imagined that all of those knives are laying out on those tables.
It's a lot of knives.
It's a lot of knives.
It's a lot of knives. Hey, more knives is better, right?
Yes. And all right, let me see. So he said, Chris S. said, so buy a Ritter Hogue. And Ian said, thank you, Doug Ritter. Never stop doing the Lord's work.
Thank you so much. Darth
BMX said, wow, knife royalty in the hive. Look at that.
I don't know about that, but I can't do what I do without the support of the folks that are listening here and all the other folks who have donated to us. It's unfortunate, but the reality is, my lobbyist wants to get paid. Our travel expenses are huge, with us both traveling 100,000 miles a year. But that's what it takes to get things done. And I can only do as much as we can afford. So every penny counts. Unfortunately, our expenses are growing, not getting less, for the same reason that your groceries are costing more. Plane tickets that used to be, so probably 2/3 of our plane tickets are bought on 48 hours or less notice. So we're paying premium prices because we got to be at a hearing or something at a state capitol, and we have to be there tomorrow. So the fact of the matter is, plane tickets that used to be $400 or $500 or $600 round trip, we've paid well over $1,000 this year. So it's just going to take more. It's frustrating as hell, but
I don't know how
that's how we get things done.
I don't know how you do so much plane travel. How in the world you get there early and then you have to find your spot and to make sure that you get to your place, and then you have to go get your luggage. Flying, there's a lot of folks that never fly. And I just had the opportunity when we went to Hawaii a couple of weeks ago, and holy cow, it's not fun.
Oh, it ceased being fun a long, long time ago. It's not fun. I mean, I can get work done, and we fly enough that we do get upgrades. But yeah, fun is not part of the equation at all, ever. But if you have passion, you can put up with some not fun stuff in order to accomplish what you really, really want to get done. I don't care what field of work you're in. Mine happens to be advocacy for our, civil rights. But, there's always going to be stuff that you don't like to do in order to get where you want to go. And that's part of the price you pay if you're going to be successful at what you want to do. And, 40 bills, 26 states, 13 years. For that kind of success, I can put up with some really, really uncomfortable plane rides.
Right. Alice, aka Alicord Paracord, she said, I love flying, but I'm only 5'1".
I wish I was 5'1" in many respects, because I would have a whole lot more leg room.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking. All right. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give one of the prize packs away right now. And I'm going to pull up and make sure, if you're listening right now, that you said something, and all you have to do is comment, say something in the live chat right now. It'll automatically enter you to win. I'm not going to take the time that I normally do to show you every sticker that's in the pack. We have a whole, you can cover half of a toolbox with all these stickers, and the Beez Blades keychain, the Beez gnome, and KIZER, what do you call the thingy? A patchy patch. And then we have a couple. Let's see. Let me pull this up because I go everywhere. All right, we have 208 entries. Let me pull this up because I'm looking at the time. Usually I don't pay that close attention to the time. I have to pay attention today.
Yes,
sometimes I'm too broke to pay attention.
And I just want to tell everyone while you're doing this drawing, thank you for all the nice things you're saying in the comments. I sincerely appreciate it. Tell your friends about knife rights. Help us continue to rewrite knife law in America and forge a sharper future for all Americans.
And here's a quick question. What was your favorite knife before you designed one?
Probably my Christopher Sabenza, which was one of the very first knives that he engraved especially for someone. Interesting story. I saved up lunch money for a year and a half so I could afford my first Sabenza.
Wow. That's very impressive. All right, let me show you all what this knife is. And of course, it's a KIZER because I'm Mr. KIZER. And this isn't the Vanguard series. This is the one in the fancy box. And
Tom Sheehan says, what's the word?
Tom Sheehan, you don't have to. You just entered. There's no special word tonight. It's everyone that says anything in the chat. Usually I have a hashtag something, but tonight there isn't. And wait till you all see these two knives. What do we have? Wow, 10 minutes. Okay. Are you ready for this? One of my all-time favorites. And let me do something real quick.
Am I in your way?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm using a flashlight right now. How many people in the chat can imagine what I'm getting ready to give away?
I know.
This is Doug's using a flashlight too. So I am charging something right now with my flashlight.
I'm guessing there's something about glow in the dark involved.
That would be an excellent guess.
Maybe.
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 Glow scales. Yep. Aaron guessed it. So it is a Fear scale. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. KIZER Gemini with the glow in the dark scales. And
Cool.
Block some light here. I don't know if I can block enough light. These Fear scales glow in the dark, and it's hard to show.
There you go.
There we go.
Got it.
Would you look at it? Just look at it. Brand new. Oh, wow, that's bright. But there you go. And it has the what do you call it? The copper foil on the inside. Ray Laconico design.
Great guy.
New. So snappy. The Gemini is one of my faves. All right, let's pick it. I usually take so much time. I have to hurry myself. What do we have? 9 minutes. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this back up. And here we go. The winner is going to be, you're going to see your names flash before your eyes. Ready? Who is it going to be? All the names are flying. It's going to be Josh 304.
Congratulations, Josh.
You just won a brand new KIZER Fear scales Ray Laconico Gemini. How about that? Isn't that awesome?
Josh 304.
Josh, are you in here? I know you're in here because you said something. Make sure you email me in the next 48 hours at beezblades@gmail.com. Jeremiah Moses said, I think I'm in the drawing. I just donated and sent it to Knives Live 2021. There you go, Jeremiah, with the $5 hairs.
Josh 304 says, ah.
Josh is freaking out. And you know what? While we're doing this, let's go ahead and pick a second person.
Another one?
Yeah. So, Josh Branson said, maybe we should do this twice a year instead of just one. Thank you, Doug, and your team for what you do for us. I, for one, am grateful.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
All right, we're gonna do another one right now. And this one, I'll make it quick. So we don't run out of time. And in typical Beez fashion, it is another fancy KIZER. And thank you to KIZER for sending these knives for the giveaway. And this is another, not one of the Vanguards. This is a fancy one. Wait till you all see this. I have a bunch of people who are gonna freak out over this one too.
Your movements are so fast right now.
I know. I know that I'm on the clock. Brand new KIZER Cormorant frag pattern titanium. Look at that. Would you look at it?
Bearded Doom just says, have Beez open my package.
Bearded Doom, I don't know if I'll be able to open your package or not. Let's see who's going to win this. All right. Can I pick another winner? Draw again. Here we go. Here is for the KIZER Cormorant in titanium. Who's it going to be?
Oh my, the chat is flying.
The chat is flying.
Ian says hi.
And the winner, Robert Feely.
Robert Feely.
Congratulations, Robert.
Congratulations. I know Robert cannot believe his eyes right now. He thought he's one of the ones that thought he would never win anything ever.
Well, look at that.
How about that, Robert?
Would you look at it?
Email me anyway, even though I know who you are. That is awesome. I do have my I took it off the wall.
It's true.
Yeah.
All knives do matter.
I love it. I used to have stickers that said all knives matter. I gave them all away.
Good, because it's our trademark. Not that
Yeah.
we would get on your case, but
Well, I mean, I don't know who had them made. Somebody sent a bunch of them to the channel. All knives
Right.
matter. We gave one away with every giveaway. I usually do 3, 4, 5 giveaways every Friday. So
cool. Well, it's true. You know, that's what, you know, people get a chuckle out of it, but it is honest to God truth. What we're about is that all knives matter. That's what Knife Rights is about. All knives matter. It doesn't matter what kind of knife you like. You should be able to carry it. You should be able to own it. You should be able to use it.
By the way, I almost forgot. Each person that won tonight is going to get one of these keychain pulls from Alice, aka Paracord. Alicord
cool.
Paracord sent these keychain pulls. Let me do this real quick. These are very nice. There's a black and red to go with the Beez Blades colors. And one of you will get this keychain. This is a keychain right here. Is that the three things that we're talking about, Alice? Thank you very much, Alicord Paracord. She makes, like, she even made sheaths out of paracord. Like you could put on your belt.
Awesome. Cool.
And then the monkey fist thing that you can like whack people. Oh, let's do that real quick. Okay, all right, Doug, you're gonna get to see him. You're a cat lover. Somebody tell me for sure, is it Knives Fast that's next on this list?
Sounds right.
I believe it's Knives Fast, but Doug here is my little kitty. This is Bentley.
Little?
Yep. This is the little kitty.
Jeez. Suddenly our 15-pounder doesn't look so big.
My head doesn't look so big now, does it?
Hey, Bentley.
Kitty, kitty. And there's all the Bentley emojis. He's been on every live stream that we've done at home. He didn't go camping with us or go on vacation with us, but every other one, he always somehow, even tonight, made an appearance. He knew the stream was about to end. But there you go. There's Mr. Bentley. Man, I really appreciate you being on tonight. That was such a treat because I was racking my brain and I was like, I can't think of half of the stuff that I should say and want to say, and I don't know all of the things that you said. And you're going to be on some other live streams. Do you remember which ones you're going to be on also?
Oh, I have a list because I can't remember. You know, at my advanced age, it's really hard for me to remember things. So let's see. I will be on Scab Choir Boy Cutlery, Stassa 20. That's at 7. These are my time, so that would be subtract 2 hours for Central Time, or add 2 hours for Central Time. So 9 p.m. Central, I'll be on with Scab at Choir Boy Cutlery Outdoors. At 11 p.m. Central, I'll be with Stassa 23. And then tomorrow at 6 a.m. my time, so 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern, on Women Carry Knives with Christine. Then at noon my time, which is what, 2 o'clock Central Time, with Knife Junkie, I'll be on with Bob. Then next
you're gonna
last
be busy.
Sack stuff, and then finally Neves Knives. Yeah, you know.
Are you going to be sleeping at all?
Yes, you will notice that I am done at 10 and I don't start till 6. And since I normally go to bed around 10 o'clock and get up at 4 or 5, I'm good. It's just another day. My voice may give out before we're done here.
Yeah, well, when you're on a live stream, you tend to project and you use more voice than normal.
Well, yeah. Look, this is an incredible opportunity for us. Not even considering the raising money part, which is really important, but also just explaining what we do and why it's important for you to support us and why it's important to tell your friends about what we do, because ultimately our success depends on being able to talk to legislators and say, there are these people that care about it. And when we ask you to please write your legislator, which we make very easy through our software, then it's like, oh yeah, he really does represent a lot of people. I mean, ultimately, we represent all knife owners in America, which is millions and millions of people. If I could only get them all to give $1, but I have to depend on telling people what we do. There are so many people who don't even know we exist. So the opportunity that you folks are giving me to get online and to tell people about knife rights and how to support us, this is huge. I mean, last year was incredible. This year is going to be so much better, and it's my pleasure to be on with you and with everyone else that I'm going to be on over the next 23 hours.
That is awesome. Thank you very much. A couple things. Robert Feely, thank you for the $10 hairs. Thank you for the donation. Make sure you donate to Knives. I'm running out of steam. kniferights.org. That's where you go to make a donation. And you'll hear more about this on the following live streams. I'm going to send everybody over to Knives Fast. He's got the next hour. Mrs. Beez, do you have any final words?
We like to keep it short and sweet here this week. See everybody next weekend. Hope you have a lovely weekend and probably see everybody else in some other chats.
And any final words from you for the moment, Doug?
Just thank you all so much for your kind words about my knives and for what I do. And please send money.
Yeah, send money now.
Please send money.
Thank
you so much for having me.
Yes. It's been great. Everybody, remember, live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.